We're going to move on to our tier list now. Ignore that. Just 1 second.
For anybody wondering what Gilgamesh looks like in the jacket, and the
ignore
V-neck.
that. Yeah, the tier list. Tier list now. Yeah. Okay. Right. So.
Okay. So yeah,
Let's
throughout
go.
reading the visual novel, we just kept laughing because some characters are so based, some are so cringe.
I feel like we have to initially define what we mean by based and cringe.
Okay.
So, based and cringe in this context are the opposite of each other. Based means essentially not that we like them or that we agree with what they're doing, but that we appreciate that they are very sure of themselves, very upfront, and they're not like underhand.
Yeah.
They might be evil, but they're not underhand, and they are they're very
very open with their desires,
and they're very confident in themselves, etc. And they, the kind of surety of yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas cringe is like the complete opposite, insecure as hell. Your motives are all over the place. Yeah,
you do
mess of a person.
You do horrible things for no good reason.
Yeah. So the first one is Sabre. So
I did put these are all alphabetical order by name, by the way.
So
Artoria, the
yes.
iconic waifu character of this franchise.
So, well, this is what I was saying to you.
Yes.
Is that I think that she is like a mixture of cringe and based.
Yes.
Because just generally, she's kind of based.
Mm-hmm.
She just quite upfront. She basically seems to be incapable of deception.
Yes.
I mean,
very honest. She's very noble knight.
Very upfront. Very what you see is what you get. But she's not like extremely based by any kind of stretch.
Yeah, we don't see her do a lot for her own.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much that is just because she's limited by Shirou, but
she does deceive Shirou for a while.
Yeah. She does go and fight Assassin all on her own.
Yes. I mean, that was kind of based.
Yeah, that was kind of based.
But,
just my master isn't going to go fight Caster.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do it. Ends up fighting Assassin instead.
Yeah. But the thing is, as well, is that her ultimate motivation is that she feels like she's failed and she's insecure about how she did as a king, etc., etc., and she wants to undo it all.
Yeah.
That's kind of cringe.
It's like undo all of it, like not just, go back and fix what you think you did wrong.
It's kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, that's why I was arguing that I think it kind of evens out.
Yeah. So we think she kind of is neither. She's neither cringe nor based.
Yeah. She's kind of a pretty good baseline.
Yeah. So the next one is Cullen.
Ku.
Best doggo.
Oh my god. A man so based. Like, I can't believe it. I think we can just go. Like, can you ever show. Like, what are the most cringe things he's done?
This is what I'm trying to think, does he do anything that could be considered cringe?
Like, if it was in different contexts and he wanted to do these things, you could have maybe considered randomly killing Shirou to be cringe.
But he was only doing that because he'd been given specific, command spell orders.
Yeah, exactly.
To kill witnesses.
He didn't want...
And he even says, in that time when he goes to fight Gilgamesh instead of Shirou and Sabre, he's like, you didn't,
He didn't command me.
You didn't command me to, so I'm not going to.
So fuck it, I'm going to fight Gilgamesh instead. That's very based.
Very based, exactly.
Telling Shirou that he likes him only after he basically says, hey, don't steal my girl.
Yeah.
Pretty based.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Why would you not feel a little intimidated if Ku was hitting on your partner?
Only being motivated to save Rin during the Unlimited Blade Works route. Being told to kill yourself, killing self, killing Master, and also then stabbing the kid who wants to abuse Rin. All of that is so based.
Before dying.
But also proceeding to set the room on fire.
There's also
Very based.
there's also one scene that's only in the anime where Kirei is fighting Caster, and Kyu is just sitting there, way off to the side, like up in a tree or something. Like, you told me to just watch.
Yeah, he's just watching Kirei die. Doesn't give a shit.
Fucking based.
Based as hell. He is just the essence of based, extremely based.
He's the base doggo.
Yes.
The fine ass.
So,
Next
Emiya
is Emiya.
Archer. So we are separating
Emiya from
Shirou. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. He's got a similar kind of thing going on to Sabre.
Yeah.
In that he's kind of just generally based, but his ultimate motivation is to off himself. Kind of similarly to Sabre wants to kind of reverse his life, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cringe. But the ways he goes about it and the things that he does...
I like that he's kind of a dick to Shirou at times.
He's just a dick to himself in the past.
Yeah, he's just going back in time and being a dick to your past self.
He's also a bit of a funny dick tsundere to Rin.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny when you know it, you see it in
Shirou,
context.
yes.
So, as much as his ultimate motivation is kind of
also
cringe,
like when he first turns up and he's like, oh, maybe I'm not a good master.
Yeah, he knows full well who Rin is.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to act like he does.
But he's just being a bit of a prat to her because he thinks it's funny. And yeah, I think overall because of that, he ends up just kind of based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put him in kind of based.
Okay.
So next is character we haven't mentioned, but this is Fujini, aka Taiga Fujimura.
I mean, she's mostly irrelevant to the plot.
Mostly relevant to the plot,
Except
but she's kind of like Shirou's
she's held hostage at one point
caretaker.
in Blade Works. I say kind of held hostage. She is like put into a coma.
By Caster.
Yeah, and held hostage before that, but
yeah. She's kind of funny. She's a teacher.
She mooches off Shirou all the time.
Yes.
She can't apparently cook for herself.
Yeah.
That's kind of
like
cringe.
depending on a student. The thing is, Taiga is kind of cringe, but she seems to not care.
Yeah, this is true. She just like doesn't care about her incapabilities that Shirou points out.
Yeah, I mean, she's good at kendo and she's good at archery, so she has some skills.
She's skilled with a sword and with a bow.
It's implied that her family are the Yakuza.
She kind of, might be associated with the Yakuza, which is kind of interesting when she's so, like, I don't know what the...
Maybe she doesn't know. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her.
She's a very kind of wholesome person.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning, right, Sabre, she is very critical of Shirou being, like, you can't just have this girl in your house. You know? And then, with Rin in the Unlimited Blade Works route, same thing, even though Rin, like, convinces her otherwise.
Yeah.
Heaven's Feel route, she's like...
Sakura has big boobs!
She's just like, yo, are you gonna get some of this, Shirou, It's like, what the hell? Just such a flip. I'm like, is this just because... This makes me think, is she just playing Wing Woman for Sakura because she's known her all these years as she's come, for like a year or whatever, she's been coming around to Shirou's all this time.
Maybe.
Which, when I think about that, a little bit based. I think, does she just kind of end up just kind of based as well?
I'm like, That's the thing, it's like, she's pretty cringy, but she owns it.
She's also kind of mumsy, which I don't like, but she wears it on her sleeve so much that it's like, I
feel like it's all counteracts on her becoming kind of based.
Yeah, just kind of based.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Next up is King Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yes. So
I'm better than everybody. Everyone else is a mongrel.
This guy...
I do what pleases me.
Holly likes this guy a lot.
I don't way like more this based in Fate Zero. I promise you.
But here's the things I have to say, right? So his motivations are usually, I mean, they're not good,
No.
but they are pretty based throughout, generally speaking, except in the Stay Night route. I think his motivation in Stay Night is a bit cringe.
His motivation is get my waifu.
He wants to get with Sabre. Now,
Well,
that by itself...
the way he goes about it is like, he's like, Sabre's already my woman.
Yeah, but she's not.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which I think...
I like how Sabre just doesn't seem to respond to him.
I think that it's kind of cringe.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thought processes that he's possessive over a woman who does not care about him is pretty cringe.
But Jimmy, it's only natural that she wants it.
It's like, on the other hand, then he also just has motivations where it's like, oh, I just want to delete majority of the human populace.
I mean, he straight up, like, fucking
Darwinian.
tries to kill Shinji.
Yeah. Well, he kind of... the part where he picks up Shinji and just, pincushions him.
Yeah.
Which I think I should clarify. He stuffs his arm through his chest.
Yeah, he donuts him.
And he's just like, lol. It just does that. I mean, one time he just casually stabs Ilya.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, once again,
it's
a horrible thing to do.
He just does it, like, unfazed.
Yeah.
I also like that he goes into fight Berserker completely unarmored.
He's, like, based in a way that makes me fucking hate him.
Yeah.
But some of his motivation and things is a bit cringe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he can't be extremely based.
Yes.
I think he just ends up just based.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
So then Hassan. This guy's mostly cringe.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm pretty sure Hassan is mostly cringe. I love the concept that Fate did with Hassan Isaba and the origin of assassins and the assassin army and the whole legend of the Old Man on the Mountain.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what I like about this character.
Yes, it's a good concept.
Yes.
But it's a combination of, like, his motivation is that he is Hassan, and there are many other Hassans, and he wants to use the Grail to basically make his name famous so that he is...
The Hassan.
The Hassan. Which, I'm just like, I don't know, that's just cringe. It's just cringe. It's just...
Yeah, dude, so why do you want to be the Hassan? No.
I think, like, you look at all the base characters here, do any of them care about fame? Like,
no, because Gil already has it.
Gil has it, but I don't think he cares about it. He doesn't care what other people think about it.
He does kind of brag about, like, being the prototype for
heroes. But it's his own... It's his own self-aggrandizement.
It's his own self-aggrandizement.
Hassan, he wants that, but it's like... He just wants it. He just wants it for no reason. So he clearly cares a lot about what other people think about him.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cringe.
Exactly.
And then also just combine the fact that he's kind of just useless.
He gets owned by Kirei.
I wouldn't mind if he gets... Because, I mean, like, Lancer gets owned a few times.
Yeah.
And it's very... But the thing is, he always gets dicked over.
Yeah.
But it's just that Hassan... seems to be mostly ineffectual. He doesn't matter much in the round.
Yeah. It's like Zoken's using him, but like not very well, not very effectively.
Yeah, the best thing he does is be a distraction.
Yeah.
So
and he gets owned by Kirei.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is, I feel like it's unfair to put him as extremely cringe.
I would say...
I think he might just be cringe.
I think he's just cringe, that's what I was going to say.
I feel like he doesn't do things that are just... You just make yourself just go, oh my god, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just cringe.
He's just cringe.
Berserker, I feel like we can just explain this very quickly. I mean, he's just kind of doesn't have regular thought processes for the most part.
Yeah.
He's not
basically does what Ilya tells him to do.
Yeah. He doesn't really have free will on the same level
Yeah,
that
because
most
of the
people do.
madness enhancement and everything.
So I think on that basis, he kind of needs to be in neither cringe or based.
Yeah.
I might have said that he tends towards based, just because it seems like there's a hint of his own free will.
Yeah, there's a couple
And
of times where you see that.
That free will is used to
Protect
try his best to protect Ilya.
Yeah, protect this lolly.
/ Ilya is already dead, try best to kill Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, it tends towards base, but just not enough, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't see enough of that independent free will to really...
Speaking of... Ilya.
Ilya is a child? I think children are all cringe by nature.
Yeah, but then if you look at if Ilya's motivations as well are mostly things that her family want her to do.
Yes.
She mostly doesn't have her own desires and choices.
Other than want Shirou to be her brother.
Yeah.
She does want to take revenge on her dad, but...
For leaving her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like part of that is the family putting on her as well, like, oh, he betrayed us.
Yes. Her upfrontness about her murderous and evil intent.
Yeah, she's so playful about it as well.
Is kind of freaky, but in a little bit based.
Yeah.
She also, in the Heaven's Feel route, what she ultimately does is pretty based.
Yeah.
Where she saves Shirou.
She's like...
She says, feck it to all of this.
Yeah, fuck all this, I'm saving him.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. The thing is, if TikTok existed in 2004, you know that Ilya would be making cringy as fuck videos.
That's a very good argument. I feel like she probably, not by a lot, but probably needs to go into kind of cringe.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel kind of bad about that, because I
Yeah.
like her as a character. But,
I love Ilya, but
I mean,
she's a bit cringy.
Yeah, well, she has to be.
Yeah.
She is. The thing is, she looks like a child.
She's actually 18.
This kind of makes it more cringe.
Yeah.
When you kind of realise, at least to some extent, that she's kind of putting on an act.
Yeah. And there's also the times when, like, she's actually surprisingly, like, adult. Like, you'll see, like, how her whole demeanour changes.
Yeah.
When she's in
She
Heaven's
speaks
Feel at times, when she's...
You didn't even notice.
Yeah, until you pointed it out. It's like,
but
yes,
I said that
I do
her
notice
voice is actually different when she stops putting on the act. Yeah. But when you realise that, it's kind of cringe that she's acting like a child the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on. Issei.
Not a character we've talked about much. He's Shirou's friend. He lives at the Ryder temple with Kazuki.
Yeah.
He's going to be a monk, isn't he? He's trying to be a monk.
Yes.
And take over the Ryder temple.
He has very, I suppose for lack of a better way to put it...
He's head of the student council.
He's got kind of conservative views.
He's got really strange views in regards to women, especially Rin.
Yes, Rin in particular. We find out that they apparently were both on the student council at some point.
Yeah.
So, because of that, they now hate each other. Mm-hmm. Well, at least Issei kind of hates her.
Yeah.
She doesn't really care much. Probably finds it kind of funny to tease him.
Mm-hmm.
Issei has some pretty choice words here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he just overall ends up just kind of based.
Yeah. He's very enlightened. Next is Kirei.
I mean, I've spoken about it before.
I'm like, is there anything else we can really say about...
I feel like we do need to repeat because we're intending to make a separate video.
Yes.
So the thing is that Kirei, saves Sakura's life in order to cause more suffering down the line. Lol. He preserves a servant from the previous war in order to fuck up the next one.
Yeah.
And he does this by torturing the children for 10 years. Like, all of this stuff is horrible.
Yeah.
He...
So
he,
But
saves Ilya in order to make sure that Angramainu, the incarnation of all evil, is born.
Yeah.
He just does so many terrible but based things.
I also love that scene where she ends up meeting Shirou for Mappa Tofu, and Kirei just doesn't seem to care about. She's just already ordered like 2 more plates of Mappa Tofu.
Yeah, I think I said that the most cringe thing he does
Is when he killed Lance's original master.
Yes, and the reason I think that that's cringe is just because it's the war hasn't even started. It's very underhanded.
Apparently, part of the reason he did that is because she's from the Majors Association. He didn't want them interfering.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I feel like that's the only thing, and I think otherwise you have to admit that he's extremely based.
I don't know, man. All the black keys of Mappa Tofu I keep getting in my freaking gacha.
He gives you them and he laughs. He laughs at your suffering.
I'm just there like, I want a 5-star SSR limited servant other than the bikini Sabre that I have. And he's just there like, you're a Gilgamesh order.
It's a Mapo Tofu.
More Mappa Tofu. It's 2 in a row. How many varieties of black keys would you like?
Mapo Tofu is spicy tofu.
Extra spicy. But he likes extra spicy.
Yeah. It's Kazuki.
Yeah. Well, he goes to kung fu fight literal King Arthur.
And wins.
And wins.
Yeah.
He's engaged to an ancient Greek witch.
He beats a lot of children. Well, 2 children. Repeatedly.
There's a lot of adults beating children in this series.
So there's this whole bit where he finds out that Caster's been draining the lives of the townsfolk.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to
and
care.
He didn't know about this. And Shirou's like, oh, thank God. And then he goes, but I don't care.
But also, the way he reacts when first meeting Caster.
Oh, no, this is shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
So Caster kind of propositions him, and he just turns around, quite unfazed by that, and asks her, well, would you like it rough or soft? And then gives it to her rough. Not that we see,
This is not a hentai scene, but we really wish it was.
Yes!
It would have been better than any of the other ones in the freaking novel.
Now I'm really thinking about it, does he ever do anything that could be considered cringe?
No.
I think he has to be extremely based as well.
Based.
It's just, wow. Apparently the guy used to be an assassin.
Yeah.
Who uses those abilities to great effect to beat up kids and
King Arthur. You beat up King Arthur and 2 children.
Oh, fuck, yeah. It's amazing. So, we move on to the servant, Caster.
This is Medea. I don't think she's as based as her husband.
No, she is not.
No.
She, killing her own master in the context that she didn't like him.
I think that's based.
It's pretty based.
I think
yeah.
Summoning her own servant seems pretty based, but nicking 2 others.
Yeah, I think about it like...
And she is eventually defeated by getting beaten up by a high school girl.
Yeah, that bit is a bit cringe.
I'm like, that's pretty cringe.
She just didn't see it coming.
She just was not expecting...
She didn't expect to get kicked in the face.
She wasn't expecting...
she expected a mage battle. She didn't...
Ren
brought legs to a mage battle.
Yes.
Don't
bring thighs to a magic fight. Watch me.
Yeah, I think she probably just ends up just based.
I don't know. I don't think she's either.
Really?
I don't know.
I think she tends more based than cringe overall. Because the thing is, I was thinking about the stealing of other servants. It's really, obviously, really cruel, but also, and it's a dick move.
Yes.
But she doesn't do that dick move, underhanded thing in a dick underhanded way. She's very upfront about it.
Mm-hmm.
the only, she just tries to leverage things to her advantage, but in a very upfront way.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's less cringe than usual.
Yes.
I feel like she ends up just kind of based.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ryder.
Okay. We don't get much about Ryder.
Yeah, but what we do get, well, at one point she asks Shirou a question, and the question is baiting him into basically trying to bait him into a situation where he will explain a situation in which he would betray Sakura.
Okay.
And unless he answers anything other than "I will never betray Sakura," she then explains that she would have killed him then and there.
Yeah.
That's pretty based.
Pretty big. I'm trying to think specifically cringy stuff that she herself has done. I think being Shinji's servant is cringy when you had the option to not be his servant.
Yeah, but
Mm.
I don't think she has the choice.
Yeah,
It's
it's all Sakura and everything.
which we'll be talking about later.
Yeah.
I feel like all the things that would be associated with her being cringe are actually like Sakura and Shinji's fault.
Yeah,
So
that's what I think. I don't think she's necessarily either.
yeah,
Maybe because we only start to see her be her own person in Heaven's Feel.
yeah. I think she's generally pretty upfront. Her motivation is simple. She just wants to protect Sakura.
Yeah.
More or less just because Sakura's kind of similar to her.
Yeah.
In the sense that she was also used in things.
And turned to a monster by other people.
Yeah, that motivation's neither really cringe or
Neither cringe or based. So I think Medusa is very nicely neither cringe or based.
Yeah. I think she tends a little bit towards base, but not enough really.
But what about Rin?
Rin. Well, geez, we get a lot of Rin. What can be said about Rin?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in regards to whether she's cringed or whether she's cringe or whether she's based. I mean, she does go and beat up an ancient Greek witch.
Yes, she planned this. She
planned
knew what she
this.
was going to do.
Exactly.
Then, in other routes as well, she's always telling the truth, which is that Shirou is dumb.
Yeah, she lets Shirou know that he's dumb.
Yeah. She's always pretty upfront about stuff. She quite casually does drugs. No, she's
not actually
doing
drugs. She's withdrawing blood to make magic gem bullets or something.
Yeah.
She took one life off Heracles.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty basic. She's willing to just go hand to hand with servants.
Yeah.
Despite being a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah. I think the only thing is that, well, oh wait, no, I thought about it again. You get the impression that her only motivation is to fulfill what her father's wishes were, to win the Grail War. She's kind of doing it for that reason, but she also is doing it apparently because she just enjoys it.
Yeah. She has no specific wish either, which I think is interesting. She just wants to win.
I feel like doing things for no other reason than because you wanna is pretty based.
Pretty based, yeah. Even when she says I'm only a student going to school because it's fun and I want to.
I think the only thing is that she doesn't do things that I would say are crazy based.
Yeah.
So I think she just ends up based.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sakura. Yes. Sakura in 2 whole routes of the novel gives Shinji all of her power as a master. That's really cringe.
Yes. See, Shinji Mato has an area effect of cringe. And I feel like Sakura is affected by this in the novel.
It's a familiar thing. And Sakura is a Kuma. Possibly more than Shirou is.
She's a certified freak. 7 days a week.
Shut up.
But in the worst possible way.
Yeah. She, in the Heaven's Feel route, she does because she gets her power, she does do some things that are pretty based. She kills Shinji. She kills Zoken. She tries to kill Kirei.
I mean, she kills everybody you want to see killed.
Yeah.
In fact, she just freaking eats Gilgamesh.
Yeah. All of these things, I think, save her from being extremely cringe. I think she's just cringe. Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's your waifu, but your waifu is cringe.
Yeah. I mean, I feel really bad for saying that, because she's like...
I also hate how she keeps calling Shirou senpai, even when they're dating. You've pretty much confessed that you're now in a relationship. You should just call him Shirou.
Yeah. But also, I feel we do have to acknowledge the based cringe thing. It's not an insult. It's just acknowledging the reality of her motivations and things. The thing is that she is an abuse victim, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So we can understand why she is the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
So, the character that doesn't matter.
Sasaki Kojiro.
I can't. I'm sorry. This guy is just...
Yeah, he's not in it much, which I think is a little bit disappointing, as he could be more interesting. We see him once in Stay Night, and is it twice in... I'm trying to remember how many times we see him in Blade Works. He's
twice in Blade Works. Yeah.
Twice, yeah.
And then...
I mean, he does just want a good sword fight.
Yeah, that's all he wants.
That's all he wants, which I think is fair enough.
It's like, okay. That's a motivation, I guess. But that's all he wants.
Yes.
Which is kind of... like, really?
Yeah, he's not as interesting as I hoped he would. I mean, he's a freaking samurai. I expected cool shit from samurai.
I really wanted a thing in which he, like, turned on Caster.
Yeah.
I really wanted something like that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing, to be honest. I think he just kind of, overall, is kind of cringe.
Yes.
Just because he really doesn't matter.
Yeah, kind of cringe. So,
yeah, you could take him out of the novels and basically nothing would be lost.
Yes. What can we say about fucking Shinji Mato?
Oh god, this guy.
This guy is cringe incarnate. Like, at the start of the stream, people say he reminds me of a D&D character.
Because he is insecure, incompetent. No
magical ability.
Abusive.
Yeah. He's so smarmy and horrible, and he never even tries to do anything good.
He doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
Exactly. He's so creepy every opportunity he gets. I don't know why Shirou is still friends with him.
Yeah. I feel like Shirou loses some points just for that.
Yeah. Why are you still friends with Shinji Mato? And I do think that, especially in the anime, he has his area effect of cringe. He turns up and immediately everything feels cringe.
Yeah. I feel like I'll do Shirou last, actually.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to talk about how... So, Zoken... There are a few select things that I think you could say... Not even a lot, actually. Like, just a very small selection of things that kind of based.
Like when he's saying that, Shirou...
It's just like
Shinji's
acknowledging...
a failure.
Shinji is a pile of crap, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it just goes, oh yeah. What a pile of crap, oh well. He also, the only other thing I can think of that was kind of based was just Fujini calls up, and I'm just imagining he just picks up the phone. He's like, "Oh, hello, Fujini. Oh, Sakura's over at your house. Oh yeah, she can stay there. I'm fine with that."
Aww.
It just puts down the phone.
He's just being a granddad.
It's just like what? It's such a weird
a weird scene.
In character. I mean, we kind of know he kind of has ulterior motives, but it's
And I understand the motivation of wanting to be immortal.
Yes. But
he's doing it in such a cringy way.
he is so desperate
Yeah.
to stay alive at any cost.
That he is just a pile of worms.
And he is just a disgusting pile of worms that needs to eat people to live. And he abuses Sakura for 10 years, once again, just to fulfill this ritual so that he might be able to make himself immortal.
Putting kids in pits of
Disgusting
hentai creatures.
Yeah, like you might think
cringe.
Other characters here have performed abuse on children or harmed them or something and are quite based, but the problem is that it's because Zoken is just doing it.
There's a difference between fist fighting a child and putting a kid in a room full of hentai worms.
Yeah, it's sort of it's because of the motivations involved. The fact that he's only doing it just to preserve his existence, as wretched and unpleasant as it is, he is pretty cringe.
Yes.
I feel like he does a very small selection of things that could be at all based. I think he's not as extremely cringe as Shinji is, but he's still pretty damn cringe.
He's still pretty cringe. I mean, part of why Shinji is cringy is because of the influence of his grandfather.
Yeah, it's like it's inherited.
Yeah. It's the area effect of cringe. The whole family is affected.
So, finally, Shirou. I feel like it depends on route.
This is the thing with Shirou. I think we have to discuss.
He's different in each route.
He's different in each route. So
yeah.
Where is he most cringe?
Stay night.
We think we should try and weigh up his cringe versus base moments. So
I think Stay night is when he's most cringe.
Yeah.
People
die if they're killed.
He's dumb. He's too idealistic.
Yeah.
He's the most Kuma.
I also don't like in that route that it's like, I will fight instead of Sabre. It's like, I'm literally King Arthur, dude.
He's a complete idiot.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
He won't go away from that stupid.
I understand why he's so like.
Yeah, he's such a martyr.
Yeah, he's such a martyr. Like, he puts himself out for other people. The survivor's guilt and the sort of hero complex and all that. But it still comes across as, could you not rationalise this? You've seen her fight.
Yeah. That was pretty cringe. That
was.
Yeah. We should probably mention that. Is there a bit of a redemption in that there's the last ending that happens after Sabre disappears? He wanders the earth until maybe he dies, or maybe he just walks into Avalon, and just because of that, that's where she goes when she dies as well.
Yeah, he reunites with. I mean,
and they meet together. And
he did.
Yeah.
Bone King Arthur.
I feel like he.
I don't know.
That does not entirely deserve points there.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if that deserves points or not.
In the Blade Works route, he's quite a bit more based.
He starts developing a bit of a hate man crush on his adult self.
Kind of based?
Kind of based.
In a weird way? Sort of.
I mean, he fights his adult self as well.
Yeah, and wins.
Yeah.
Maybe we chose to say that thing to Lancer, but just telling Lancer not to get too close to Rin, kind of based.
Yeah.
A little bit based there. Yeah, and then like in Heaven's Feel, I think he's quite based throughout. Yeah. He just proceeds to be like
he's trying to stop all the horrible stuff happening to Sakura.
Yeah.
He even tells Rin to screw it a couple times.
Yeah. Tells her, you fuck off.
Fist fights Kirei.
Yeah. He keeps using the magical archer arm even though it's killing him.
Yeah.
Just to get the things
feels
he wants
like
to do
his self-sacrificing nature
Yeah.
It feels the least cringy in Heaven's Feel as well.
Yeah, because it feels like at least he's competent about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the answer is that it depends. So weirdly, I feel like he just ends up in the middle.
Neither based nor cringe overall.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. The definitive. So extremely based, it's Ku, Kirei, and Kazuki. Just based is Gilgamesh and Rin. Kind of based is Emi and Fujini, Issei and Medea. Neither based or cringe is Artoria, Heracles, Medusa, and Shirou. Kind of cringe is Ilya and Sasaki. Cringe is Hassan and Sakura. And extremely cringe is Shinji and Zoken.
I also just want to point out that in a weird way, if you look at like Gilgamesh with the pauldrons, he's kind of got the Chad look going on.
with the armor.
And if you look at Hassan, the way he's looking down,
the virgin
it kind of
walk.
looks like the Virgin Walk. And on that, I think that's a stream.
Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, we'll save that afterwards.
Yeah, we'll save that. We can also post a link to the tier maker if you guys disagree with our ranking of based and cringe.
Alright, guys.
So thanks for joining us. This was a bit of an unusual stream to do. Let's see if there's anybody on that we could go and raid for a little bit. Just as a wind down after all the stupid weakness. We've not done anything like this before.
I think everyone's probably a little bit like twitched out.
Yeah.
So we'll just see you guys.
See you guys soon. Thanks to everybody who turned up for this.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.